Lieutenant Kira's ship spiraled through Earth's atmosphere, its navigation systems failing after an unexpected solar flare disrupted the cloaking field. Red warning lights flashed across her control panel as she fought to stabilize the craft, her violet skin pulsing with stress patterns. This was supposed to be a routine observation mission, monitor the humans, collect data, return home. Instead, she was about to become the first of her kind to crash land on their planet. The landing trajectory took her straight toward a bustling city, Seattle, according to her scanners. Kira engaged emergency protocols, compressing her ship to the size of an Earth vehicle. As she struggled with the controls, her attention focused on avoiding populated areas. She didn't notice the lone figure walking through the park below until it was too late. The impact was relatively gentle by spacecraft standards, catastrophic by human ones. Kira's heart stopped when she saw the man's body thrown several feet through the air, landing motionless on the wet grass. Her training screamed at her to flee, to maintain zero contact with the primitive species. But as she emerged from her ship, the man's pained groan made the decision for her. He was bleeding from a head wound, his breathing shallow. Kira's medical scanner revealed 3 broken ribs and a concussion. She activated her appearance modifier, taking on human form, olive skin, dark hair, features that would blend in with the local population. Her fingers trembled as she reached for the emergency contact device these humans carried. 911, what's your emergency? There's been an accident, Kira said, her universal translator converting her words to perfect English. Denny Park, a man is injured. Please hurry. While waiting for help, she administered basic first aid using her advanced medical knowledge, careful to make it appear as simple human techniques. The man's wallet identified him as Dr. Michael Torres, a neurologist at Seattle General Hospital. The irony wasn't lost on her, a healer, harmed because of her carelessness. The ambulance arrived with flashing lights and wailing sirens that made Kira's sensitive hearing ring. She should leave now, return to her ship, activate the self-repair sequence, and continue her mission as if nothing had happened. Instead, she heard herself telling the paramedics, "I'm coming with him." During the ride to the hospital, Kira maintained subtle healing frequencies through her fingertips where they touched Michael's hand, accelerating his recovery just enough to ensure survival without raising suspicion. She fabricated a story about a hit-and-run driver, knowing the truth would cause chaos. In the emergency room, she watched Earth doctors work with their primitive but surprisingly effective tools. Her scientific curiosity battled with her guilt as she observed their methods, noting how they compensated for technological limitations with ingenuity and skill. When they asked about her relationship to the patient, she called herself a friend. It wasn't technically a lie. She felt responsible for him now. Hours passed. Kira's ship would take 3 Earth days to fully repair itself, hidden safely in cloaked mode back at the park. She had no obligation to stay at the hospital. Yet as she watched Michael's chest rise and fall, monitored his vital signs with both human machines and her concealed alien technology, she found herself unwilling to leave. There was something about him, the peaceful expression despite his injuries, the way his hand had reflexively squeezed hers in the ambulance, the collection of worn medical journals in his backpack suggesting a dedication to healing that resonated with her own calling as a xenobiologist. When Michael finally regained consciousness 2 days later, Kira was there. She watched his eyes open, warm brown eyes that seemed to look straight through her human disguise. For a moment, she forgot her cover story, forgot protocol, forgot everything except the way those eyes crinkled slightly at the corners when he managed a pained smile. "Am I dead?" he mumbled. "Because you look like an angel." Kira felt her skin threaten to ripple with amusement patterns and quickly controlled the reaction. "Very much alive," she assured him. "Though you gave us quite a scare." "Us?" His voice was hoarse. "The hospital staff," she clarified quickly. "I'm Kira. I witnessed your accident." "Thank you for staying," Michael said, his hand finding hers again. "Most people wouldn't have. If only he knew how right he was. No one from her world would have stayed. It violated every protocol of their observation mission." Yet as she felt the warmth of his hand in hers, saw the gratitude in his eyes, Kira realized she had never felt more certain of a decision. Her ship would be repaired soon. She should leave Earth, file her report, and try to forget this unprecedented contact with a human. But something told her this cosmic collision was more than an accident. It was the beginning of a story that would change two worlds forever. Michael's recovery progressed faster than any of his doctors expected. Kira continued her covert healing treatments during her daily visits, carefully monitoring his response to the alien technology. She told the hospital staff she was a visiting medical researcher, which explained her extensive knowledge and constant presence at his bedside. Their conversations grew deeper as Michael regained strength. They discussed everything from advanced neurosurgical techniques to philosophy, Kira carefully masking her otherworldly perspective while sharing insights that left Michael intrigued. She found herself fascinated by his passionate descriptions of the human brain's mysteries, seeing parallels with her own research into interspecies consciousness. "There's something different about you," Michael said one evening, watching her examine his brain scans with unusual intensity. "The way you think, the way you see things, it's like you're viewing our world through entirely new eyes." Kira's heart raced. "Perhaps I am," she replied carefully. "Sometimes an outside perspective helps us see things differently." As Michael's discharge date approached, Kira faced an impossible decision. Her ship was repaired, her mission deadline long past. She should return to her world, but the thought of leaving him behind created an ache in both her hearts that no xenobiological analysis could explain. The night before his release, she made a choice that would alter both their destinies. She found him sitting up in bed, watching the sunset through his window. "Michael," she said softly, "there's something I need to show you." She deactivated her appearance modifier, allowing her true form to emerge gradually. Her skin shifted to its natural violet hue, patterns of nervous energy rippling across its surface. Her eyes enlarged slightly, taking on their natural iridescent quality. Michael stared, his medical training warring with the impossible sight before him. "Kira," he whispered. "This is who I really am," she said, her voice carrying its natural harmonic undertones. "There was no hit-and-run driver. The accident was caused by my ship crashing after a solar flare disrupted its systems. I stayed to ensure you survived exposure to alien technology. But I continued visiting because..." Her skin flickered with emotional patterns. "Because I found myself caring for you in ways my people have never documented in any human study." She waited for his fear, his rejection, his scientific skepticism. Instead, Michael reached out and gently touched her luminescent skin, watching in wonder as it rippled with patterns of joy under his fingers. "I knew there was something magical about you," he said softly. "The way my pain eased when you were near, how quickly I healed. I thought I was imagining things, or that maybe the head injury was worse than they thought. But this..." He traced a pattern of light across her arm. "This is more amazing than anything I could have imagined." Their first kiss happened naturally, neither human nor alien, but something wonderfully in between. Kira's skin glowed with patterns of love that had never been recorded in any xenobiological database, while Michael's human heart raced with the thrill of touching the extraordinary. In the weeks that followed, they built a life between worlds. Kira modified her ship's AI to help maintain her human appearance for longer periods, allowing her to join Michael's life publicly while keeping her true nature hidden. She continued her research, now enriched by intimate understanding of human biology and emotion, while Michael's medical practice benefited from her subtle introduction of advanced healing techniques. Their challenges were unique. Kira had to learn to control her bioluminescence during emotional moments, while Michael had to adjust to a partner whose skin changed color with her moods. They developed their own language of love, mixing human gestures with luminarian light patterns. When Michael proposed 6 months later, he did it in both human and alien fashion, offering not just a ring, but also creating a light pattern that matched his heartbeat. Kira's joyful acceptance illuminated the entire room with patterns never before seen on Earth or her home planet. The question of children came up naturally as they planned their future. Kira's research suggested genetic compatibility was theoretically possible, though unprecedented. The idea of creating new life that bridged their species filled them both with equal parts excitement and apprehension. "It would change everything," Kira said, her skin showing complex patterns of hope and worry. "Both our worlds would have to acknowledge us. We couldn't hide anymore." Michael took her hands, watching the light play across their intertwined fingers. "Then maybe it's time for both our worlds to learn that love knows no planetary boundaries." That night, as they lay together under the stars, Kira's ship sensors detected the first spark of new life growing within her, a unique genetic signature that contained both human and Luminarian DNA. Their cosmic collision had set in motion changes that would reshape the understanding of life itself across the galaxy. The pregnancy was unlike anything documented in either human or Luminarian medical history. Kira and Michael converted their basement into a private medical facility, combining Earth equipment with technology from her ship to monitor every developmental stage of their unprecedented experiment. The first signs appeared when Kira's natural bioluminescence intensified beyond her ability to suppress it. She had to take leave from her research position, citing a rare condition requiring isolation. Michael's colleagues noticed his distraction, attributing it to concern for his mysterious pregnant wife rather than his constant monitoring of hybrid cellular development. Their scans revealed astounding results. Twin fetuses, each displaying a perfect fusion of human and Luminarian characteristics. They possessed both human cardiovascular systems and Luminarian light processing organs. Their developing brains showed structures capable of both human emotional processing and Luminarian light pattern communication. "They're growing so fast," Michael marveled, watching the three-dimensional holographic display of their children's development. The DNA helix rotated slowly above their equipment, human and alien genetics intertwined in ways that should have been impossible. The pregnancy progressed at a rate between human and Luminarian gestation periods, approximately 7 Earth months. As they approached the due date, they faced their biggest challenge. They couldn't risk a hospital birth, but they needed medical assistance beyond their combined expertise. They chose to trust Dr. Sarah Chun, Michael's mentor and chief of neurosurgery. When they revealed Kira's true form and showed her the prenatal scans, she sat in stunned silence before breaking into a wide smile. "I always knew you were special, Michael," she said. "But this is beyond anything I could have imagined. You're literally making history." The birth itself was miraculous. On a stormy Seattle night, twins entered the world, a boy and a girl. Their skin shifted between human tones and gentle luminescence as they took their first breaths. Their cries carried subtle harmonic undertones, and their tiny hands glowed with emotional patterns matching their parents'. They named the boy Phoenix, for rising anew from the collision of worlds, and the girl Luna, for the Earth's moon that had witnessed their parents' first true kiss. Both children were perfect by both species standards, an impossibility that represented everything their love had achieved. The existence of Phoenix and Luna meant they could no longer hide. Kira would have to face her people's scientific council, while Michael prepared to introduce his children to a world that didn't know aliens existed. Looking at their babies, whose skin glowed with pure love and trust, they knew every risk had been worth it. Dr. Chun helped them document everything, preparing research papers that would revolutionize both human and Luminarian medicine. The twins' unique biology offered insights into genetic adaptation, consciousness transfer, and cellular regeneration that neither species had thought possible. As the babies grew stronger each day, showing remarkable development in both physical and cognitive abilities, Kira and Michael began preparing for the inevitable revelation. They knew there would be fear, resistance, and wonder from both worlds. But they also knew their children represented something too important to hide, living proof that love could transcend the stars themselves. At 6 months old, Phoenix and Luna began displaying abilities that amazed both their parents and Dr. Chun. Their skin would synchronize patterns when they were near each other, creating complex light shows that Kira recognized as an advanced form of her species' emotional communication. They could switch between human and Luminarian appearance at will, though controlling this ability would take years to master. The first major incident occurred during a routine pediatric checkup. Luna, startled by a cold stethoscope, lit up the entire examination room with fear patterns. The quick-thinking nurse attributed it to faulty fluorescent lights, but Kira and Michael realized they couldn't keep their secret much longer. They began careful documentation of the twins' development. Phoenix showed an extraordinary aptitude for healing, his hybrid biology allowing him to instinctively understand and influence both human and Luminarian physiological systems. By his first birthday, he could ease pain with a touch, his tiny hands glowing with therapeutic energy. Luna developed unprecedented telepathic abilities, bridging the communication gap between human and Luminarian consciousness in ways that would later revolutionize interstellar diplomacy. She could project her thoughts in both words and light patterns, creating a new form of communication that combined the best of both species. The twins' early education presented unique challenges. They needed to learn both Earth's languages and Luminarian light speech, human social customs, and alien energy manipulation. Their parents created a rich learning environment that celebrated both heritages, while carefully teaching them when to hide their otherworldly abilities. Kira's scientific council eventually detected the unusual energy signatures emanating from Earth. They sent an investigation team, forcing Kira and Michael to make a choice: run and hide, or stand their ground and fight for their family's right to exist. They chose to face the challenge head-on. With Dr. Chen's help, they prepared a comprehensive presentation of their children's development, highlighting how the hybrid genetics had created abilities beyond what either species thought possible. The twins, now toddlers, became living proof of the potential for harmony between worlds. The Council's arrival coincided with a breakthrough in Phoenix's healing abilities. During their inspection, a Council member suffered a severe reaction to Earth's atmosphere. Phoenix, acting on instinct, placed his glowing hands on the alien's chest and stabilized their condition using a perfect blend of human and Luminarian healing techniques. This demonstration of hybrid potential, combined with Luna's ability to communicate telepathically with the Council in their native light language, forced them to reconsider their stance on interspecies relationships. The twins represented an evolutionary leap forward, their existence opening doors to medical and scientific advances neither species had imagined possible. As news of their family spread through official channels, Kira and Michael prepared for the wider revelation to humanity. They chose to approach it through the medical community first, presenting their children's abilities as breakthroughs in human potential. Dr. Chen's research papers on the twins' unique biology laid the groundwork for humanity's gradual acceptance of alien life. Their home became a bridge between worlds, hosting secret meetings between human scientists and Luminarian researchers. The twins grew up surrounded by the best minds of two species, their every developmental milestone carefully documented and celebrated as proof that love could transcend the boundaries of biology itself. By their 5th birthday, Phoenix and Luna had become bridges between civilizations. Their unique abilities catalyzed unprecedented cooperation between Earth and Luminaria. Phoenix's healing techniques revolutionized medicine on both worlds, while Luna's telepathic translations transformed interstellar diplomacy. The twins attended a specialized school created for hybrid children, as more human Luminarian couples followed in their parents' footsteps. Their classmates represented the first generation of truly interstellar citizens, comfortable in both human and alien forms. Kira and Michael's home became an embassy of sorts, hosting gatherings where humans and Luminarians could interact freely. The twins helped newcomers adjust, their natural ability to bridge both worlds making them perfect ambassadors. Earth's first public contact with alien life came through medical breakthroughs. Phoenix's healing techniques proved particularly effective against human cancers, while Luna's communication abilities helped trauma patients recover lost memories. Their successes made it impossible to deny the benefits of human-Luminarian cooperation. The Scientific Council eventually recognized human-Luminarian partnerships as a natural evolution of both species. The twins' existence proved that the universe favored unity over separation, their hybrid abilities representing the next step in cosmic development. On their 10th birthday, Phoenix and Luna performed at the first Interstellar Unity celebration, combining human music with Luminarian light patterns in a display that moved audiences on both worlds to tears. Their performance symbolized everything their parents had fought for: the beauty of two worlds coming together in harmony. That night, as their family watched the double sunset from their garden, Earth's sun setting in the west while Luminaria's star pulsed in the evening sky, Kira's skin glowed with the same pattern she'd shown when she first revealed her true form to Michael. Who would have thought a crash landing could lead to all this? Michael mused, watching their children play tag with light beams. Sometimes the best discoveries come from accidents, Kira replied, her skin synchronizing with their children's joy patterns. The twins had become living proof that love could transcend not just cultural boundaries, but the very limits of biology itself. Their legacy would continue to shape both worlds for generations to come, a testament to the night when an alien crash landing became the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure.